Slamdown is sponsored by Body Slam and Jam and WWE Smack Talk. Welcome to another episode of Slamdown. We're going to be covering everything about Smackdown. Overall, I've got to say it's a lot better show. I could see why Smackdown is outperforming Raw. For anyone that missed it, yesterday I talked about how bad Raw has been with repeating itself. SmackDown has been repeating a couple of times, but not as bad as what Raw has been. So let's get into the show. We saw Maurice slapped Dean Ambrose at the start of the show. Because The Miz and Maurice are still looking for an apology of Renee Young. There was what I've read online that The Miz shouldn't have said sleeping with Dean Ambrose to Renee Young. He was meant to say you're dating Dean Ambrose. I will cover a bit more into that when I get on to the later on in the match, but it seems like the WWE wasn't happy with that the Miz went off script. Pardon me. After that, we had Baron Corbin taking on Dolph Ziggler. I thought it was going to be another Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler again. Okay. But no, it was a good match. I like the way it ended, where we've seen Dolph Ziggler actually turn heel. And you saw the fans chanting because Kalisto came out to help Dolph after the match, and Dolph Ziggler gave him a super kick. Match, I'm going to be nice to this one. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. But also later on in the show, we saw an altercation where Dolph Ziggler was ripping up the backstage. Apollo Crews confronted him, and he started attacking on Apollo Crews, and then it was broken up, and then that was left there. We saw Becky Lynch taking on La Luchadora. Now, people who haven't been watching, the week before, La Luchadora was Becky Lynch dressed up, and then we've seen another La Luchadora come down, and we don't know who it is. But the match started. We saw midway in the match that La Luchadora rolled on the ring and came out the other side, and then attacking Becky Lynch, continuing the match, and then Becky Lynch got the victory. But then we found out that it was Alexa Bliss after Becky Lynch ripped off the mask, and then another luchador came from under the ring and started attacking on Becky Lynch. So we do not know who this luchador is. I've noticed it's brown hair. I can't really see facially who it looks like, so I don't know who it is, but I'm trying to work out who it is. After that, we had the AJ Styles, John Cena official Royal Rumble. WWE Championship match contract signing. Now, I don't want to see another John Cena AJ Styles match. I really don't. They've done it 3 times. Please don't do it a 4th, but we're going to get this at the Royal Rumble, so, you know. Even though the matches they've pulled off have been 4 to 5 star matches, but it's like, I don't want to see it again. But we saw AJ dig at John Cena for saying he was part-timer, doing exactly what The Rock did. That in itself was good. The battle between each other was brilliant. I don't know if they had a bit of freedom with this, or if it was a script that they were... I don't know if it was a script or if they had freedom with this. You know, the WWE does like to script their superstars, but this felt a bit realistic and natural, so I don't think it was scripted in my opinion. But it led them to... They signed the contracts with John Cena standing up. We saw Baron Corbin come down. The Lone Wolf announced that he was entering the Royal Rumble, but promised to win it to main event WrestleMania. Then he added it wasn't that he wasn't pinned in the freeway for the title. It escalated between Cena and Corbin, which allowed Styles to blindside Cena as he was focusing on the Lone Wolf. The Formula One then exited and Corbin talked some trash as Cena laid on the mat. After that, we saw Carmella taking on Aaliyah, who's an NXT superstar. I still can't work out why they've put Jones, Ellsworth and Carmella together. I don't see it. I can't work it out, but we'll just have to wait and see. He was at ringside supporting her and also helped her get the victory. After that, we had American Alpha taking on Breezango. American Alpha got the victory. Actually, I want to quickly go back. Becky Lynch led a match, 3.5 stars. Carmella match I was actually quite enjoying, so I want to give that 4 stars. American Alpha against Breezango, 3 stars. But then we saw the Wyatt's spear on the screen, warning they're coming for the champions next week. As Luke Harper was about to say run, Randy Orton said it, and you could see there's a bit of friction between them two. We also saw Becky Lynch and Natalya have words in the ring. We saw Nikki hitting Natalya with a huge forearm, knocking Natalya down and out. It was just a throwaway statement, to be honest, on that one. We saw Dean Ambrose taking on The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was done well. It was meant to... When Dean Ambrose was out the ring, he got slapped by Maurice, so the referee looked and was going to end the match in a DQ. But Dean Ambrose managed to persuade the ref to not end the match and just tell Maurice that she's going to go backstage. Which he did. But as he was watching Maurice leaving, The Miz hit him with the title and then went for the pin. But Dean Ambrose kicked out. And match went on, and it led on to Dean Ambrose hitting the Dirty Deeds and becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. But the way it was done, brilliant. I can't fault that match, actually. I'm going to give that 4.5 out of 5. Smackdown overall, 4.5 out of 5. There's not much I can fault. There's not much I can pick on. It is brilliant. It makes Raw look like the worst pile of crap ever. That's the only way to compare it. Creatively, SmackDown is romping. To me, it's the same old things with Raw. Repeating matches, bad angles, bad storyline, bad promos. You know, they were near enough ruining Goldberg with the whole Roman Reigns crap. It's forcing shit down our throats that we don't want. But and I still hope for the days where Vince McMahon doesn't have control over the WWE anymore, and it moves over to Triple H, because that's when we'll see real change. If you look at the products, if you look at Smackdown, and you look at NXT, and how much creatively they're better and all round better, I am going to do some more investigation to see who is creatively in charge of Raw and who's in charge of SmackDown, to sort of find out why these two shows are so different, why one's better than the other. I know why on TV wise, but I want to see what's going on more behind the scenes. Another little thing I want to quote. As people know, the WWE are doing the UK Championship, and they have said that they're going to be doing a UK promotion. Now, this worries me. I think what the WWE are going to do is what they did in America and monopolise the UK wrestling scene. So I am watching that very carefully, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen, because I don't want to see companies like ICW, IPW, NGW, have to battle to keep hold of talent because the WWE are trying to take everybody down. It's a bit funny that World of Sport comes back and then the WWE want to go and do a UK thing. There's something going on there. I'm trying to think the best way to explain it is they are trying to monopolise the UK scene because of how far the UK scene has grown, with more wrestling shows having networks, either TV deals or being on the internet where you pay monthly. So we need to be very wary, because WCPW have also confirmed that their superstars that are actually competing in the UK tournament are no longer allowed to appear in WCPW. So there is stuff going on, and I'm just fingers crossed that the WWE does not ruin the UK wrestling scene. But that's everything for Slamdown Podcast. We will be back on Tuesday with Raw Talk. I do not know what's going on with the TNA Talk Show yet, as I'm waiting to see what happens with this app when it's released, how it's watchable, because TNA is not on change anymore, so that will be all changing around. As soon as I know, as soon as I get the app and I'm able to watch it, then I can work out dates to do the TNA Talk. But thanks to everybody watching, and we'll see you again Tuesday.